All right, we are back. Brian and Christine Toon giving us some updates on Race Across America this year. Um, One sad update: Eric Newsom had to pull out last night, uh,
This morning.
or early this morning. Still super proud of him. 2,889 miles in just 11 days.
So he ended up 200 miles by our count short
Right,
of the finish line. And we were hypothesizing, I'm sure he'll post something later, but we were hypothesizing the hard place that you get to this late in the race as you're chasing a cutoff time, because the cutoff time for these riders were
right,
3 p.m. Eastern time.
right.
And so he likely had somewhere near 200 miles to ride
Yeah, almost exactly
in
200
12
miles.
hours, but he was probably brutally sleep deprived and
Right.
they're fearing him falling off his bike
Right.
and breaking a bone. And
It's really sad too because the race is almost 100 miles longer this year. So if he was only staring at 110 miles left to go instead of 200 miles almost, I'm sure he would have kept on. But knowing that he would make the time cut off, um, that's a little bit sad. But we're just speculating that we don't have much details other than that his safety had become at risk.
we were
Which
already
probably super, super, super sleep deprived.
yeah,
Um,
like so
yeah,
sleep deprived that even like an hour or 2 or 3 hours of sleep is really not going to help him at this point. And as
right.
Brian has said before, going to sleep for 3 hours at this point in the race, like you can't
You can't
wake
get back
yourself
up.
up
Right,
after being
right,
so sleep deprived.
right. The later we got into the race, the shorter my sleeps ended up being. Um, yeah, just because yeah,
We were just talking too about about the fact that it's actually harder to take longer, even though you're going slower and maybe not working as hard. But my dad, who's run marathons, has always said that he would much rather run a 3 hour, 3.5 hour marathon as opposed to a 5 hour marathon, because you have to run, keep your body moving for an hour and a half less. And the same is true for these riders. It's easier, harder in a way, but easier to ride a 10-day
yeah,
ram as opposed to a 12-day ram, because that's 2 extra days that you have to
yeah.
put your body through
Well,
this torturous sleep deprivation and riding and fighting whatever demons you're fighting.
yeah, that's
So
really interesting to think about. I'm not 100% sure I could have finished if I had been on that pace because remember breakfast right after the finish?
oh
I
right.
mean, I fell asleep during breakfast.
Yeah, like we finished the race, which many of y'all saw live stream, and then we went to a little place right nearby, like right there, and we went and had breakfast. And literally, this was Brian. He was asleep in his hand, like asleep, like sound asleep, as we all took pictures and chuckled and laughed, and he was so asleep. And when we got back to the hotel, he went to sleep and did not wake up for probably almost 12 hours, and we had to wake him up for the banquet that night. And when I had to wake him up for the banquet, I mean, he was like comatose. It was so hard to wake him for the banquet that night.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, your body just goes into shutdown.
yeah.
I mean, it's so hard.
So, but anyway, still something to celebrate. Eric going so far across the country.
We're really proud of you, Eric.
Yeah,
We've been there, we know, and we are so proud of you.
yeah. All right.
So
So, in terms of what's left in the race, there's Nicole Rice won the women's race. I'm guessing it was a few hours ago, so early morning. 11 days, 14 hours. So it might have been last night in the evening, but yeah. So she won the women's race. Shauna Hogan is. Can I pull over
yeah,
to here?
live tracking.
Yeah. Shauna Hogan is still in the race. She's still on track to break the women's over 50 cross country record, but she is slowing down.
No, she doesn't have until 3 p.m. like Eric had. She has an extra 12 hours
Right,
to finish.
right. The women have longer, and then the men over 60. I'm going to talk about Valerio in a second. The men over 60 have extra time as well. The One of Shauna's goals was to break the 12 days, 15 hours mark. So right now she has exactly 1 day left to ride, 24 hours to ride 200 miles. She's still not quite as far as Eric made it. She's about 20 miles behind that. but you got 24 hours to ride that 200 miles, which is basically 9 miles an hour. But at this point, if you look at the leaderboard here, look at the projections. Go down. The easiest thing for me to find this is actually their search works really well, right? So if I just type Shauna, yeah, we can find Shauna's data here. Oh, we're gonna be sitting in front of it. Yeah, so between me and Christine, you see 12 days, 11 hours, 54 minutes. So she's still on track to break that record, but so that's gone back up because it had slipped to 12 days, 12 hours. So this has gone down a little bit. And Valerio, search for Valerio. He raced the Heart of the South race. He's raced it a number of times, and he's done it years I've done it as well. So I've had a chance to meet him. And he is on track for 12 days, 16 hours. Now, I'm wondering if that's within the time limit.
I don't know. It's close.
Yeah.
I don't know. So we're cheering him on too.
Yeah, we're cheering him on. It might be close.
He fell last year right before the start and wasn't able. He had gotten injured right before the start of the race last year, so he wasn't able to start. But we've enjoyed following the race this year. It's a whole different perspective on this side of the race and the computer, and we got a taste of what y'all got last year. And it's been fun to kind of relive this. And
so anyway, we'll say goodbye for now.
Yeah, this has been fun. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.